All right, so good morning. And we're going to start lying on the block in Supta Baddha Konasana, feet together, knees out to the side. Down onto your mat. All right, maybe taking a little sitting Baddha Konasana first if you want to. My hip joints are a little creaky in the reclining round angle pose part, so I find it helps to get them a little stretched out in the sitting version first. All right, getting that block behind. And opening the upper chest up. Maybe using your hands under the head to start. Doing a lengthen out of the neck, pulling that neck long and out and over. And whatever little processes you need to do to get yourself settled in here this morning. And really feeling the breath. Inhale, expand, exhale, melting over the block. And if you're going to work out for the shoulders today, giving the arms a stretch out wide to the side. Maybe breathing those arms up overhead like giant wings. And breathing them back down, stopping and pausing it anywhere along the way that seems interesting. Or if you have a little bit of a space constraint where you are, or just want to do something different, you can always bring the hands through the center line, down and back up. And we'll stay here for a bit longer. Moving the arms still, or maybe they've come to rest again. And then we'll finish up here. And as gently as you can, making your way up to sitting. And then sitting in Sukhasana with the crossed legs. And using the arms alongside, Lengthening up, getting space between the vertebrae, space in the hip sockets. And letting the hands rest on the knees. Inhale and exhale, pouring down the sides of the neck off the tops of the shoulders. Let's circle the shoulders here. Up the front, down the back. Inhale and exhale. And then 3 more times around this direction. And then we'll go the other direction, back to the front. And about 3 more this direction. And we'll finish with a front to the back, opening wide across the collarbones. Let's reach out wide through the fingertips. We'll breathe the arms up and down. Inhale and exhale up. And inhale and exhale down. And let's breathe them up the center line once more, up to the center line. And then down the center line in Namaste, pressing the hands into each other, pulling those elbows wide, and then softening that as you bring the thumbs to the sternum, connecting into your heart center. Inhale and exhale long through the top of the head, lots of space in the spine. Softening or closing your eyes. And really gazing inward. Feeling your breath. And noticing whatever parts of the day and the rest of the world are still clinging in there, things you don't need at this moment. And see if you can let them go. And then we'll let the head bow forward, releasing the hands, putting the backs of the hands on the knees, and lifting all the way up the front of the body to lift the chest, to lift the chin, to open the eyes. Here we are again. All right, so let's twist to the right. And I'm going to shift a little diagonal so you can see better. I'm being the right and left mirror at the moment. Inhale and exhale, twisting. And then reaching out through the right fingertips, lifting that right arm a little bit off the floor. Don't let the left shoulder collapse forward. And then around into the half binding, turning the thumb side of the hand down, wrapping around that left outer hip, Twisting a little more, feeling the shoulders rolling down and back, long through the top of the head. On back to the center. Let's change the cross of the legs. And we will twist to the left. Inhale and exhale, feeling every breath. And then reaching out through that left arm. Try not to tilt forward or collapse forward. Keep the right side long as you press back through the left arm. And then half binding, turning the thumb side down, wrapping that left arm around. Rolling the shoulders down, finding the twist again. Sometimes as we make our way to the half binding, we let go of the twisting action in the spine. And back to the center, coming forward and over. Big round breaths into the back of the body. And coming up, unfurling that spine vertebrae by vertebrae back up on top of the sitting bones. And let's come up and downward facing dog. Oh, before I forget about them, just making sure your blocks are somewhere you can reach them. And coming up and downward facing dog, walking the dog or anything else you want to do here. And then finishing up with that dog walking, finding the best downward facing dog of this moment. Nothing moving but the breath. And then going through the Vinyasa, any sort of version. Forward to the plank, chaturanga or something like it, upward facing dog or the cobra, lingering maybe in the back bending part. And then back to downward facing dog. And coming down, sitting onto the heels in simplified Virasana. On through the top of the head. And then let's ascend up onto our knees, bringing the arms up. And we'll do Ustrasana, the camel pose. So just whatever camel pose is available at the moment. And gently breathing yourself maybe a little deeper, but trying not to strain and push. Just making space along the front of the body. And a big lift through the top of the head coming up, reaching up, descending. And then sitting off onto the right hip, sliding the left leg out. We're in the half dragonfly here at the back of the mat. I'm not the right left mirror anymore, so this is my left leg straight over here. Big reach from knee to heel, coming forward, your body forward, right out from the hip bones. And coming up. Let's take a twist to the right towards your bent leg toward the front of the mat. And then pressing back with that right arm, taking it around into the half binding. Find the twist again. And then left hand onto the left leg behind you there. And sliding out the left leg in the half binding. Pulling up and open through the front of the right shoulder. And then coming up, letting that half binding go, retrieve your left leg. Back to simplified Virasana. Deep breath. And then sitting off onto the left hip, sliding that right leg out to straight. Reaching long from the heel to the knee. And seeing where your body front is, might or might not be squared up to the mat where your hip bones. And coming forward from there. And come back up, and we'll twist to the left toward the bent leg, toward the front of the mat. And then reaching through that left arm, pressing it around into the half bite. And then make sure you didn't kind of collapse and untwist, pressing up and out and around in that twist to the left. And then right hand onto the leg, reaching out with that right arm along the right. You notice you come to a very different place than when we have the left arm unbound and it's the big side bend move. Maybe it doesn't feel like such a different place. And coming back up, retrieving our right leg back to simplified Virasana. And let's ascend onto the knees again. And we'll Ustrasana, the camel pose. Big reach around. Wherever you can go. We don't even have to take the head back. At the moment, I don't even have my head back. That's often the piece that makes things get too strained too quickly as we yank our head back too far. So just easing it back, looking on a diagonal, looking at the ceiling, maybe reaching a little more. And then coming back up long through the top of the head, bringing the arms up, descending. And let's come back up, downward facing dog. And then through the Vinyasa, any version. And looking between the hands to jump or step forward. Into the concave, back halfway up. Folding over. Coming up to standing, big front body yawn. And a big press down and all the way around, so namaste in front. And let's come over. Big lift up. And diving over. Concave back, folding over. We'll step back with the left leg. And coming up in the high lunge. And then let's interlock the fingers behind here. Lifting the chest to lift the chin. Releasing the hands back up overhead. Namaste in front. Namaste into the floor, stepping forward. Into the concave back, folding over. Coming all the way up to standing, big front body yawn. And around to namaste in front. And then we'll do that with the left. Big lift up. And diving over. Concave back, folding over, stepping back with the right leg. And coming up in the high lunge. And let's interlock the fingers behind. And lengthening up the front of the body to lift the chest, to lift the chin.
And releasing the hands back up overhead. Namaste, friends. And into the floor, stepping forward. Into the concave, back halfway up. Folding over. Coming up to standing, big front body one. And let's take an extra circle around with the arms here. And a big lift through the top of the head and around to Namaste in front. And coming over this time, we'll jump or step back through the Vinyasa downward facing dog. Concave back, folding over, jumping or stepping back, Vinyasa downward facing dog. And let's lift the right leg up. And we'll do 3 hover planks. Inhale and exhale, knee forward 1. Inhale and exhale 2. And 3, 3-legged dog. And stepping through to the lunge. And we'll bring the left knee down and Vinyasa, the kneeling lunge. Inhaling up the front, exhale, pouring down the back. And then twisting to the right, parallel to the floor, pulling wide. Hooking the left arm over the right thigh, pulling wider. And then around to Namaste. Still trying to feel that pulling wider. And Namaste in the center. And let's hinge back. Maybe using the block under one or both hands into the runner's stretch. Flexing the right toes, pulling up the front of the right leg. And then pouring over that right leg any amount. And then coming forward, and we'll go to the elephant rider. Turning the feet on the diagonal, bending those knees, pressing the knees wide. So we'll be headed to the low side lunge, so making it a nice wide elephant rider. And maybe a little squinching in the hips. And then if you want your block, getting your block back there near the left foot as we slide over toward the left leg. And pivot up onto the right heel, letting the toes go up as we bring those sitting bones down. Right leg might need to slide somewhere. And you might find your body front is gone kind of at an angle rather than square to the side. And then here we are, wedging the left arm on the inside of the left leg, long through the top of the head, reaching long through the legs. And then expanding the arms, twisting to the right again. And a big reach around with that right arm into the half binding. So maybe half binding there is good for now. Or maybe the left arm can come around and find the right hand back there. And wherever we are, trying to be wide and lifted and open in the upper chest. And breathe deeply and easily. And releasing the hands. Come to Namaste for a moment. And then we'll expand up into the wide leg forward bend. Parallel feet, straight legs coming over. And then turning back to the right lunge toward the front of the mat. And stepping back to the plank through the Vinyasa downward facing dog. And then we'll go around with the left. Lifting the left leg up. And then 3 hover planks. Inhale and exhale, knee forward. And 2. And 3. And lunge. And we'll bring the right knee down and Jayasana. Twisting to the left, wide arms parallel to the floor. Hooking the right arm over, pull a little wider, and then hands to Namaste. Namaste in the center. And then hinging back in the runner stretch, maybe using the block or blocks for your hands. And actively pulling up that left leg, pulling the hips back, and then reaching forward and over through the top of the head. And then rolling forward through the lunge to the elephant rider. Nice wide elephant rider. And then we'll shift toward the right leg toward the back of the mat, maybe getting your block by the right heel there. And making your way into the low side lunge, pivoting up on that left heel as soon as you can, letting that left leg adjust itself as needed. And then here we are, wedging the right arm inside the right leg, reaching long from the foot out the knee through the top of the head.
Then expanding the arms, twisting to the left. And we'll take that left arm around into the half binding. And maybe the right can find the left hand back there. And that often kind of squeezes us in. Sometimes that's inevitable, but nonetheless, we could still press out from the inside as much as possible. And then come back to Namaste in front for a moment. And then into the wide leg forward bend. Prasarita Padottanasana. And then coming up to standing here. Let's bring the arms all the way up overhead and a little front body long. Pressing the arms down to parallel, reaching wide. So we're going to rotate the right leg, that's the leg toward the back of the mat out 90 degrees. Making it straight, lift through the top of the head. We'll side bend up the right side and away. And then into the triangle, Trikonasana. And a few more breaths here. And reaching up with that left arm to come back up and back to parallel. And then rotating the left leg out 90 degrees. Both legs straight long through the top of the head and side bending up the left side. Reaching up and over. And hinging over into the triangle, Trikonasana. And feeling that breath. Nowhere to go, nothing else to do right now. Just the triangle. And reaching back with the right arm, coming up. Feet to parallel again. And let's reach out wide through the arms and then coming forward slowly in an airplane flat back, pausing parallel to the floor. I'm going to press up with the backs of the arms. Actually kind of like soaring or swooping bird here now rather than airplane. And then releasing over.
And we'll turn back to our left lunge toward the front of the mat. Stepping back to the plank through the Vinyasa, downward facing dog. And then coming down, sitting in simplified Virasana at the back of the mat. And let's ascend, coming up onto the knees. And we'll Ustrasana, the camel pose. What does this feel like now? And then a big lift up through the top of the head. And coming down, sitting back on the heels, descending. And let's slide forward onto our stomach into the Sphinx. Pulling with the elbows, reaching through the toes. Pressing that pelvis into the floor. And then bending the knees. And we'll bow pose, Dhanurasana. Getting hold of the ankles. And lengthening to lift. And calming down. And coming up back to simplified Virasana at the back of the mat. And let's tuck the toes under, rolling up onto the feet and expanding into the forward bend. And coming up to standing, big front body yawn. And around to Namaste in front. All right, so let's do Lord of the Dance, Nataraja. That's the leg behind one. And then from there, we're going to lift the legs straight up in front and go into chair pose. So if you want to hold on, like myself, coming over near a wall or support, finding that Tadasana again. And then really feeling the inner thighs and inner knees together as we bend that right leg up. So just thigh to thigh for a moment, like when we ascended in the to do the Ustrasana. Very square. And then a little pressing back with the right thigh, maybe a little more. And maybe the right hand reaches around for the ankle. And go deeper, not by tipping forward, but by pressing the right foot into the right hand.
And keep feeling lift up, so it's like the boat moves. And then a big inhale and exhale, swing that knee forward and up, pulling the thigh up towards your chest and front. And then into the figure four. Inhale and exhale, hinging back in the hips, crossing that right foot over. And you can have the hands in Namaste or straight out in front, whatever you want. And then we'll set our right foot down, coming back to Tadasana, taking a few breaths here. Samasthiti, steadiness. And then we'll go to the other side. So let's bring, all right, feeling the knees and the inner thighs together as we just bend that left leg. Taking a moment there, being as flat and vertical and lifted through the front of the body as you can. And then pressing that left thigh back a little more. And maybe taking the left hand to the ankle, pressing the ankle into the hand, lifting up, tilting forward some if you want, but try not to plummet forward. And we inhale and exhale, swinging that left leg forward and up, pulling the thigh in toward the chest. And then a big inhale and exhale into the figure four, pulling the hips back. And then we'll reach forward through the top of the head, hands in Namaste, or reaching forward, or any other position. And then we'll put that left foot down. And Samasthiti, coming to Tadasana. Inhale and exhale, smoothing things out. And then here we are at the back of the mat. Let's see, over here. And let's come forward. Oh, wait, there's some notice here. All right, just let me make that go away. Okay. And a big lift up. And diving over. Concave back, folding over. Walking out to downward facing dog. And then through the Vinyasa. Three deep breaths here and downward facing dog.
And let's lift the right leg up. And through to the lunge. And coming up again in the high lunge. And then once again, interlocking the fingers behind. And lengthening up the front of the body to lift the chest, to lift the chin. And releasing the hands up overhead. Namaste in front. And then a little up and over into the warrior number 2. Making sure that knee tracks over the foot. And dancing warrior, bringing the right arm up and away. And into the side angle Parsvakonasana. And we'll reach that left arm around into the half binding. And maybe coming down the inside with the right arm into the full one. And then release the arms. And we'll just turn to the lunge. And we'll step to the side plank on the left. Pivoting onto the left outer foot, stepping back with the right leg. And then let's press up into the right side, making it a side bend. Curving the right arm over the ear, trying not to collapse though. And a big reach around with the right arm to the plank, through the Vinyasa, downward facing dog. And then 3 deep breaths there. And we'll do that around down those breaths. Lifting the left leg up. And through to the lunge. Coming up in the warrior number 1. And then interlocking the fingers behind. And lifting the chest to lift the chin. Releasing the hands up overhead. Namaste in front and a little up and over into the warrior 2. And then double checking where that left knee is over the foot, hopefully. And breathing here. And dancing warrior, bringing the left arm up and away. And into the side angle pose, Parsvakonasana. And taking that right arm around in the half binding. Maybe the left goes down the inside and finds that right. Keep trying to make more space. And then just letting that go, turning to the lunge. Stepping to the side, plank on the right. And then side bending up into the left side, pressing up from underneath. And a big reach around, back to the plank, through the Vinyasa, downward facing dog. Taking 3 deep breaths here. Coming down, sitting back in child's pose. And then up. And let's sit in Sukhasana. Cross legs. And we will ripple, lifting that upper chest up, reaching forward, and then rounding up and back. Maybe different feeling in the rippling, and when this is our beginning of class thing, which it usually is more at the beginning of class, but here it is at the end. And then let's change the cross of the legs, and we will ripple the other direction. Rounding back, diving forward and coming up. And then finishing with that. And we will come back up to downward facing dog. So we'll be making our way to the pigeon.
with our assorted options. You could fly right to the pigeon. You can do a waterfall to the wild thing before coming to the pigeon. All right. Or you can always just go to the pigeon right here from on all fours. All right, for those of us going on the longer journey, coming up to downward facing dog. Really arriving here in downward facing dog. So we have a place we're going, the pigeon, but still feeling every moment along the way, lifting the right leg up, three-legged dog. Bending the knee dog at the high fire hydrants. And then waterfalling to the wild thing. And making our way back, lifting the right leg again. Three-legged dog. And then knee to the right elbow to the pigeon. Taking a few breaths in the cobra action, up the front, down the back. And then coming forward and inhale and exhale, long sides going back, the center line forward. And then option number one, staying here in the sleeping pigeon or coming up to go to the mermaid variation. So coming back up, reaching long through the left leg as we bend that left knee. And then left arm reaches back for the left foot. And maybe it can pull into the crook of your elbow. And then pulling back with the right shoulder, trying to square the collarbones to the front. And then coming forward, you can bring that left leg with you for a bit if you would like. And then letting that left leg go. Surrendering as much as you can surrender to gravity. And coming up. And then we'll go to the other side. All right. So back up to downward facing dog. That's the only thing we're doing right now, downward facing dog. And then lifting the left leg up, three-legged dog. Bending the knee dog at the high fire hydrants. Water falling to the wild thing. And back to three-legged dog, lifting the left leg and left knee to the left elbow to the pigeon. Taking a few breaths here in the cobra. And coming forward. And then maybe coming up to go to the mermaid variation. Coming back up, reaching along through that right leg, bending the right leg. Right hand reaches back for the right foot. Maybe the leg goes into the crook of the elbow. And then turns us to the side, which is a nice stretch, but we're trying to get squared to the front. And then we'll come forward again, maybe taking your right leg with you. And letting go the right leg into the sleeping pigeon.
And coming up. And let's make our way to Shavasana. Coming down to the floor. Taking a few moments, just being very consciously, easefully there on the floor. Ah. And noticing if there's anything your body feels like it wants or needs to do, any other additional thing. And then deciding whether you're going to actually do it or not. And then when you're ready, making your way to Shavasana. Oh. So we're not used to saying in our culture in the world today, well, that's enough. I have enough. I've done enough. There's always a push for more growth, doing better, going 200%, all those things. Sometimes it's just enough. The weight of your body into the earth, the flow of your breath. And then breathing back into your body, into the room, moving the fingers and toes, getting the circulation going. Stretching the arms up overhead. And your knees.
And making your way gently up to sitting. And sitting in any comfortable position with a long and spacious spine. Taking another moment, sitting quietly inside yourself. And namaste. Thank you for coming.